Hello, my name is Martha Gardner, and I have served as your missioner for networking and formation here in the diocese for a little over 2 years. I am grateful to be here today to talk about my work, and I'd like to start by talking about the newly formed Discernment and Formation Program for the lay members of our diocese. Let's start by watching this video on discernment.
Have you been yearning for something more, something deeper in your spiritual life? Have you been wondering how you can make a positive difference in this world we live in? As Christians, we identify this yearning as a call for a closer relationship with God, a call to be the church in the world. Each of us is uniquely gifted for this work. Sometimes it's hard to recognize our gifts or know how to offer them. A prayer from the baptismal service asks God to give the newly baptized an inquiring and discerning heart. Discernment is our attempt to know God and ourselves better in order to live more faithfully day by day. Discernment is a way to become more aware of God's presence in the world around us and in our own lives. It's about asking questions and exploring possibilities. It's about discovering our joy and how that joy can benefit others.
We are partnering with Bexley Seabury Seminary, which produced a video that we just saw, to offer a 6-month lay discernment program called Discerning My Path for Faithful Living, beginning in January 2021. In addition to monthly online gatherings with trained facilitators, participants will engage with spiritual readings, videos, and articles on discernment, spiritual practices, and the ministry of the baptized. I'm also excited that Bexley Seabury will be offering courses beginning in 2021 for those who may want to explore becoming a licensed lay preacher, a licensed lay catechist, to name 2 examples, as well as developing formation courses for living your faith in the world, in particular ministries. Another discernment opportunity is our partnering, which we began this fall, with the Diocese of Western Massachusetts in their program, Loving the Questions. This is also a 6-month program, which offers opportunities for reflection and self-exploration, spiritual practice, and creative ways to think about areas of ministry, both in congregational life and the world outside the walls. Church Next. Many of you have told me that you've taken Church Next classes and find them very useful. And I'm happy to say that I'm working with them to set up a diocesan school, which will be available in the very near future. Our diocesan school will enable a number of you to take classes at no or little cost. And I've also negotiated with Church Next to offer congregations the opportunity at a discounted rate if they want to set up their own parish school. Currently, there are over 400 classes available online, and you can see the categories here, and more added every month. Half of their courses are specifically designed to be used in group settings, and discussion questions are provided. Congregation may also want to develop their own tracks of classes for particular needs, such as adult education or confirmation or Lenten opportunity. And we will also have the opportunity to use this learning platform in the future to create our own classes, utilizing the laity and clergy of our diocese to offer classes. Living Compass. For those not familiar with Living Compass, its mission is to outfit individuals, families, congregations, and organizations with tools and trainings for the journey towards wellness and wholeness. Their model revolves around the interrelatedness of these 4 areas here: heart, soul, strength, and mind. Living Compass provides several curriculums downloadable at no cost to you, where, for example, you can convene a 6-session wellness circle, or perhaps a 4-session class on issues such as living well in the midst of grief and loss, aging well, mindful eating, and building healthy relationship. They also have several resources for parents and teens. I recently went through the training, and I'm happy to work with any congregation who would like to bring Living Compass to their congregation. And just as a reminder, their Living Well Through Advent resource is available now online, downloadable, both in English and Spanish, as well as a facilitator guide, which can be used in groups. Small groups are central to many of the programs I'm talking about. In a recent resource, or several resources, that the Episcopal Church developed discussing the importance of intentional small groups, some of the words that they use to describe small groups are a space to build relationships, to gain new perspectives, to share and bond with others, to be curious, to be authentic, to be vulnerable in safety, to help look at one's blind spots, to help calm your waters when you need calming, and to help disturb my waters when you need disturbing. To see and be heard in community and by God, and to know that we are belong and that we are loved. A place to grow spiritually mature in Christ together and where disciple making happens. Facilitators are often needed for small groups. Please know that I am here to help guide you in the formation of small groups and can organize facilitator training if that would be helpful. Forward Movement defines itself as a discipleship company doing ministry through publishing. I'd like to highlight a few of their formation resources, which I hope you will consider taking advantage of. Renewal Works is a congregational vitality program focusing on spiritual growth. After members complete a spiritual life inventory, a series of workshops are facilitated. Where have we been? Where are we now? Where do we feel called to go? And how will we get there? Currently, a couple congregations in our diocese are participating in Renewal Works, and I hope you consider doing so also. Renewal Works for Me is available at no cost and is a personal guide for the spiritual journey, which begins with your spiritual life inventory, followed by an explanation of the findings, and then a series of emails targeted with suggestions about how you can grow spiritually. Revive is a program to help active lay leaders, wardens and vestries, committee members, church school teachers, youth ministers, to grow in confidence as spiritual leaders. Revive is about transformation through spiritual formation. If there is enough interest in offering this program, we can explore getting a diocesan license. Living Discipleship is a curriculum series for adults and youth structured in 3 separate courses: Practicing Our Faith, Exploring the Bible, and Celebrating the Saints. There's no cost to download any of these curriculums, and they are available in both English and Spanish. Transforming Questions is an adult formation course in 10 sessions designed to help both new Christians and longtime churchgoers to move into deeper life in Christ. It is also available downloadable at no cost to you. The Way of Love. I know many of you are familiar with the Way of Love from our presiding bishop's visit to our diocese a year and a half ago, and many of you have used the Way of Love resources in your congregations. For those that don't know about what the Way of Love is, it is defined as a way of life. It is not a program or a curriculum. It is an intentional commitment to a set of practices. It's a commitment to follow Jesus. On the Episcopal Church website, there are many, many resources that you as an individual and a congregation can use to live the way of love. For example, there's an Advent curriculum, there's a Lent curriculum. There is a half-day retreat based on the morning prayer, which I actually used to facilitate a vestry retreat late last year. There are liturgical resources, there are several videos, there are almost 40 podcasts, many with the presiding bishop, talking about the way of love. Again, I'm happy to work with any congregation that wants to bring the Way of Love resources to you and your members. In my final few minutes, I want to talk about my work with children's formation. For the last several months, I have been convening on a bi-weekly basis lay leaders and clergy who work with children's formation. If there's someone in your congregation who would like to join these gatherings, please encourage them to do so. It's a wonderful opportunity to share ideas. These past several meetings, we've been talking about Advent and Christmas, including the planning of a virtual Christmas pageant. And I have to give a shout out to my colleagues doing children's formation in congregations, especially during this time. Their commitment cannot be questioned, and they display great creativity, ingenuity, patience, and persistence. I also want to remind you that we have a diocesan membership with Godly Play. Just last week, I renewed our annual membership. This means that your congregation to participate in Godly Play does not have to pay an individual membership. And with this membership, you get a discount on trainings, workshops, the annual conference, as well as resources. For Catechists of Good Shepherd, we have supported trainers to go to national gatherings, and Love First, written by Colette Potts here in our diocese. I know that many of you are using Love First in your programs, in your congregations. Last but not least is the work with networks. The purpose of networks is to connect congregation individuals to share resources and ideas, exchange best practices, and grow a particular ministry. It is a way to connect congregations both that are already involved in the ministry, as well as those that are interested in learning more about the ministry, so that as not to reinvent the wheel. Here's where I need your help. What ministry is your congregation currently involved with that you'd like to connect with others? What ministry have you thought about but don't know where to begin? As you see here, we have several networks that have started and are actively meeting. We have networks that are emerging, and I'm always looking to see what other networks need to be developed that I'm happy to help facilitate getting going. And I'm also working in Province 1, have recently convened some new networks where we can even share our work even more broadly with the other New England dioceses. I want to thank you very much. I know this was a lot of information, but I wanted to give you a taste of the many, many resources available to you, both in formation and in networks. Please contact me, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.